Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here, we're live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. And if you can hear and see me clearly, please drop a one in the live chat and then we can get today's stream started. And as I'm waiting for the ones to come into the live chat, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button. That is the most important thing that you can do for me on this channel, because what that does is that it ensures that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video throughout the YouTube algorithm, getting it out to those who are interested in this type of content and news. Secondly, if you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, or if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And second to lastly, share this video out on your social media platforms if you haven't already, so that everyone knows that I'm currently live, but it also has the same effect within the YouTube algorithm. And lastly, please make sure you follow me on Telegram. The link to my Telegram is in the pinned in the live chat above. It is in the description box below, and it will be pinned in the comment section after this stream ends. I'll make sure to do that, and you can follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. So now that I see the ones are coming in, let's get into today's show. Rob said, late Griff. No, I started within the 5-minute window. I get a 5-minute grace period. I think I started at 6:34 technically. So no late Griff today. I am not late. I'm within my 5-minute window. And thank you very much for the first person to contribute to today's stream. I take that back. The first person was Harold Cottom before the stream even started, for becoming a channel member. Thank you very much, Harold, and thank you very much for Saul for being the second person to donate to today's stream. I appreciate your contribution. Saul said, "Donations, gifts." I appreciate you, Saul. Thank you very much. Now let's get into today's show, right? And the title of today's stream, I don't remember what it is. I got to look it up right now, right? Biden and Harris plan to normalize migrant crisis with citizenship for all. That's the title of today's show. Now, why do I call it that? Let's get into why that is, right? And to start with, I actually want to highlight this comment right here from Leo Grand. I think this is a great starting point to start today's show, right? Leo Grand said, Obama's and Trump's period was the same, okay? Everything bad started with Biden. And actually, Obama was very tough on immigration. I've said this numerous times before. For those of you who don't know, now you're going to know, Obama is the undisputed champion of deportation. No president in the history of this country has deported more illegal immigrants than Barack Obama. He is the undisputed champion of illegal immigration and deporting illegal immigrants, hands down. And that is one of the best kept secrets, I'd say, in over the last couple years, because people act like that's not the case and that didn't happen. And literally everything that we're dealing with today concerning the Biden crisis, some like to call it the migrant crisis, but we call it the Biden crisis. Everything that we're dealing with today is literally because of Joe Biden's doing. It's all because of Joe Biden's doing. And I want to start there. And I want to get into this article here from, I believe it's the Texas Tribune. Now, all the articles and tweets that I pull up on my screen today, reports that I show on the screen today, all the links will be in the description box and pinned in the comment section below after the stream is over. I didn't have an opportunity to link everything yet, but I will make sure to do that once the stream is over. But let's get into this, right? Very quickly. Let's see what Joe Biden did once he got into office. Let's take a look at what he actually did, right? And the article reads as such. Biden administration pauses deportations for 100 days and suspends remain in Mexico policy for asylum seekers. This was back January 20th, 2021. Let's look at what Joe Biden did his first day in office before we move forward. The Department of Homeland Security announced 2 significant immigration policy changes late Wednesday that included a 100-day pause on deportations for some undocumented immigrants. The department also announced that asylum seekers who attempt to enter the United States will no longer be a part of a controversial policy enacted under former President Donald Trump that has forced tens of thousands to wait in Mexico for American court hearings. The deportation moratorium and changes to the migrant protection protocols, also known as Remain in Mexico, come on President Joe Biden's first day in office. He also signed executive orders rolling back additional Trump era immigration policies. Joe Biden stripped every immigration policy that Donald Trump had in place, as well as softened numerous immigration policies that were in place before Trump even came into office at the time. So this is literally all of Joe Biden's doing. And I just wanted to make sure to establish that first before we continue on. But now let's move forward. What's the big plan? Well, it's not really a secret. Many of us know this already, but I want to dive into this article of Kamala Harris discussing how essentially what she wants is a mass amnesty bill, right? What they do is that they often refer to this as a fast track to citizenship, but that's just a softer way of saying a mass amnesty bill, a amnesty bill that just makes everyone citizens who came into the country illegally and who are undocumented. So I want to get into that article right now because she made a few points in that article, right? That I wanted to highlight and break down. This comes from Newsweek and it's titled Kamala Harris calls for a pathway to citizenship to end border crisis. A pathway to citizenship, first and foremost, is not going to end the border crisis. That pathway to citizenship will maintain the border crisis. Because when those who haven't made it here yet see that a mass amnesty bill has been put in place to which everybody just becomes citizens, well, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to sound the alarm for more folks to come here, cross the border illegally, and just claim amnesty, which what we've been seeing so far is actually amnesty fraud. But they're going to cross the border and claim amnesty in the hopes of becoming a citizen, right? So when Kamala Harris is calling for a pathway to citizenship to end the border crisis, there's no way that's going to end the border crisis. You're literally sounding the alarm that we want more people to come into the country. So now let's dive into this article here. There are 292 of you all in the live stream right now. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, because that is extremely important. Thank you. Now let's dive into this. Kamala Harris calls for a pathway to citizenship to end border crisis. Okay. Let's dissect the foolishness coming from Kamala Harris. So give me just a second while I take a little sip of my drink. Okay, so Kamala states, and I quote, "There's no question that our immigration system is broken," Harris said, "and so much so that as the first bill that we offered after our inauguration was to fix the immigration system." Well, I didn't have that part highlighted blue, but that's a lie right there. The first thing that they did when they came into office was strip the entire immigration system. That was the first thing that they did when they came in office. They gutted it and made it non-existent. So let's just establish that. But I digress. So she states, the first bill that we offered after our inauguration was to fix the immigration system, which included what we must do to create a pathway to citizenship, mass amnesty, and to put the resources that we need into the border. But sadly, people on the other side of the aisle have been playing politics with this issue. Well, this is a lie. This is a whole lie. And the reason that is a lie is because when Joe Biden came into office, he had what is known as a trifecta. A trifecta is when one particular party, right, either the Democrat or Republicans, but in this case, Democrats, a trifecta is when one party controls the presidency, they control the House of Representatives, and they control the Senate, okay? And the Democrats controlled all three for the first 2 years of Biden's presidency. And I know the excuses are going to come with Joe Manchin and all that. I'm not interested in excuses. Not interested in excuses. The fact of the matter is, the Democrats could have done whatever they wanted to do if they wanted to do it. But instead, they wanted to play politics and do nothing just so they can double back and say everything is the Republicans' fault, right? So let's get into this. I want to read this off real quick just so you can see that what I'm saying is true. So this reads off as such: the 117th United States Congress. The 117th United States Congress was a meeting of the legislative branch of the United States federal government, composed of the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives. And I don't need to read. I don't know why I'm reading that. That's the intro part. Blah, 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 blah. Here's what we need to know and understand. The new senators were sworn into office by Vice President Kamala Harris just hours after her inauguration, with Harris serving as the tiebreaker in her constitutional role as president of the Senate. Democrats gained control of the Senate and thereby full control of Congress for the first time since the 111th Congress ended in 2011. Additionally, with the inauguration of Joe Biden as president that same day, Democrats assumed control of the executive branch, as well as attaining overall federal government trifecta, also for the first time since the 111th Congress. So once again, when Kamala Harris is saying that we couldn't get things done and we haven't been able to get things done because those mean, nasty conservatives, right? Those darn Republicans, we couldn't get anything done. That's a lie. They literally controlled the House of Representatives, the Senate, and obviously the White House. And once again, I'm not interested in excuses. Oh, you all love excuses. Vote blue no matter who was Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, yada, yada, yada. Well, then what's your excuse for this? And though this isn't related to the migrant crisis and what's going on now, there's always an excuse. And here's the thing, right? Let me explain something to you all really quickly. And I've discussed this once before in past streams. Every Democrat president since Jimmy Carter, I don't know if maybe since before then, but from I believe it's Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and then Joe Biden. They all started out their presidency, the first 2 years of their presidency, with a trifecta. Right? But even with a trifecta, they always managed to not be able to get anything done. And then the excuses come out of nowhere. Now everybody has excuses for why the Democrats can't do anything, at least vote blue no matter who is, right? But check this out. Let me show you all something. Did you all know that the great and mighty Barack Obama, with the 111th Congress, United States Congress, I should say, which was the first 2 years of Obama's presidency, Obama had 100% complete control of the United States government, to which he could have done whatever he wanted. If the Democrats wanted to get the border, let's say, under control, even though Obama definitely had it under control because he's the undisputed champion of deportations. But if they wanted to, put a little bit more structure in immigration, they could have easily done it under Obama. And the reason for that is this, and let me read this to you. The 111th United States Congress was a meeting of the legislative branch of the United States federal government of January 3rd, 2009 until January 3rd, 2011. It began during the last weeks of George W. Bush's administration, with the remainder spanning the first 2 years of Barack Obama's presidency. Okay, we got that established. In the November 2008 election, the Democratic Party increased its majorities in both chambers, including when factoring in the two Democratic caucusing independents. A brief filibuster-proof 60-40 supermajority in the Senate. I repeat, Barack Obama had a filibuster-proof Senate. A filibuster-proof Senate. And with Barack being sworn in as the president on January 20th of 2009, this gave the Democrats an overall federal government trifecta for the first time since the 103rd Congress of 1993, Barack Obama had full control of the United States government and literally did nothing with it. He did nothing with it. Nothing useful, particularly for, Black folks that love Obama so much. We love Obama. We praise Obama. How many of you all remember when Obama got into office? It was like the second coming of Jesus for Black folks. Then he got into office and he turned his back on you, pretending like he didn't know you, did absolutely nothing for you. And then Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, from that point moving forward, had the audacity to say that they felt insulted by Black Americans for not showing up, during the midterms and primaries and other elections, right? But you had everything you needed within the first 2 years and chose not to do anything. They chose not to. Really let that sit in. How many times do you hear Democrats use the filibuster as the greatest excuse ever for why they can't just happen to do anything? Because those darn Republicans, they filibuster everything. Barack Obama had a filibuster-proof Senate and did nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. Yet Black folks, we praise him. Why? I don't know. Because he didn't do anything for you. I can go down the laundry list of things that he did for everybody else concerning other groups, but nothing for you. Yet you love this man and praise him the same way we love the Democratic Party and continue to vote blue no matter who, even though they don't do anything for us. Now, I digress. I just wanted to throw that in there because I felt that was important for everybody to know. But let's get back into what Kamala Harris had to say during her interview. So that's what I want to do right now. We're going to go back to that. And there are currently 442 of you all in the live stream right now. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, because it is extremely important to the growth of this channel. And also, well, I want to make sure that I'm showing love to those who are contributing to the stream, because without you all, I don't exist. And without you all, I'm not here doing what I'm doing, providing you all with the news and content that everybody says that they want and need. So I want to make sure to show my appreciation to you all very quickly before I get into the next article concerning Kamala Harris, right? So thank you very much. I believe it's Jamie. Thank you very much, Jamie. Jamie says amnesty. Yep, that's what they wanted, a mass amnesty bill to make everybody who are illegal immigrant citizens in the United States. Apex Prowler, thank you for a super chat. Apex said, keep up the excellent work and salute. Thank you very much for your support to the channel. Shout out to Kiko410 for always coming through and showing love. He says, keep up the good work, TD. I appreciate you, good brother, for always showing love to the channel. And also thank you very much to Jerry Early as well. Jerry said, thank you, TD. Big Island, Hawaii. I appreciate you, brother, for showing love always to this channel. Now, let's get into more of what Kamala Harris had to say so that we can dissect that a little bit more as well. And once again, there are 464 of you on the live stream right now. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Now, Kamala Harris went on to say this. For the past few weeks, well, I guess this isn't a quote directly, excuse me, but the article reads, for the past few weeks, Biden has continued talks with the 4 congressional leaders on border negotiations. The president and the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, and House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, want to approve funding to war-torn said country in Europe, right? I'm not going to say the name of the country. Begins with a U, though. However, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, whose party controls the lower chambers, has criticized the bipartisan Senate deal and said additional aid to the war in Europe needs to include significant changes to border security. So Mike Johnson criticized the bipartisan Senate deal. Some of you might be wondering, what is that bipartisan Senate deal? Well, the bipartisan Senate deal is this. And this is the part here where I'm going to get into where I stated in the title, Biden and Harris actually want to normalize the migrant crisis. What do I mean by that? Well, here, I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. So I want to pull up this tweet right here. This tweet right here comes from, I know I'm going to pronounce his last name incorrectly, but his name is Bill, I believe is Melugin, right? Bill Melugin. And if I remember correctly, he's a Fox News correspondent. He's someone who is following the migrant crisis very closely. He's down at the border quite frequently. And any and everything going on with the migrant crisis, this guy is keeping up with. A very trusted source as far as I'm concerned. And he was able to get a hold of the Senate bill. And this is what he had to say. This is what he exposed concerning that bill, right? The bipartisan Senate bill. Breaking: Senate border deal details. Per source familiar, I just had a call with. Mandatory detention for all single adults. Okay, sounds good, right? But here's what I want you to see right here. Mandatory shutdown of border once average daily migrant encounters hit 5,000. Importantly, this 5,000 number includes 1,400 CPB1 app entries at port of entry per day, a roughly 3,600 illegal crossings per day, right? So the border is going to mandatorily shut down. It's mandatory that the border shuts down once the migrant encounters hits 5,000 encounters a day on average. I don't think many of us understand how large of a number that is, right? There was a time not too long ago when 1,000 border crossers, 1,000 illegal immigrant crossings a day, right? Which wasn't every day at the time, a couple years back, not too long ago. But there was a time when 1,000 encounters a day was considered a bad day. It was considered a bad day. That's what it's considered. And now what the Biden administration wants to do is maintain a minimum, or I should say at least a maximum of at least 5,000 at the most. Now, I want us to take a quick look at where we are at right now concerning daily averages, right? As it pertains to daily averages. And once again, everything that you see on your screen right now, I will make sure to link in the description box once the stream is over. But currently as it stands, I'm going to read this here. These are the current daily averages right now. Let's get into it, right? And this article reads as such. The current spike in migration peaked before Christmas during the week starting on December 14th and ending on December 20th, when Border Patrol averaged 9,773 daily apprehensions, according to the data. On several days that week, the agency processed more than 10,000 migrants in 24 hours. We are averaging close to 10,000 illegal immigrant encounters a day. Close to 10,000 a day. That, my friends, is the migrant crisis. But this said migrant crisis, or Biden crisis, I like to call it, it started well before we averaged 10,000 a day. It started well before that. It started once we were averaging about 1,500 a day. Okay. Now we're at 10,000 illegal crossings a day. And what Biden wants to do is essentially normalize, right? He wants to normalize the Biden crisis by dropping the average max to 5,000 a day. Remember, like I said, not too long ago, it wasn't that long ago at all, when 1,000 illegal encounters a day was considered too much, when 1,000 encounters a day was considered a bad day. And now what Joe Biden wants to do is normalize 5,000 illegal immigrant border crossings a day when we're already averaging 10,000. This is the normalization of the migrant crisis, right? So that means if Biden gets his way and that Senate bill passes, essentially, the migrant crisis never ends. It never ends with 5,000 border crossings a day. This goes on forever and ever, but you have to take that into consideration on top of the fact that with 5,000 border crossings a day max, we also are instilling a fast track to citizenship, to where these folks are coming in illegally and we're just, oh, here's your citizenship paper, stamp, there you go. And they're going to keep coming into your communities. They're going to keep coming into the south side and the west side of Chicago. They're going to keep coming into New York. They're going to keep coming into Washington, D.C. They're going to keep coming. This is what they want to normalize. And here's another thing, too. And let me point this out to you. Joe Biden is stating, and I want you to see what Joe Biden is stating here, because I want you all to see how much of a liar Joe Biden actually is. Joe Biden is such a liar. I want you to look at this ABC article here, ABC News article, right? And it reads, President Biden has said he'd shut the U.S.-Mexico border down if given the ability. If he had the ability to shut the border down, he said, I'd do it. I'd do it if I could, but there's nothing that I can do, because he needs this bill to pass essentially for the border, for him to be able to close the border. And if this Senate bill would pass, if just those darn Republicans, right, in the House of Representatives, if they would just get on board and help pass this bill, then I can shut the border down legally. Joe Biden is a liar, because literally as we speak, if Joe Biden wanted to, outside of the host of executive orders that he can do right now to simply get the border under control, let alone shut it down, right? Outside of that, if Joe Biden wanted to right now, by law, could shut the border down. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. I'm going to prove to you that Joe Biden is a liar. But before I do that, there are 518 of you in the stream right now. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. That is extremely important. Thank you very much. Now, let's get into how much of a liar Joe Biden actually is. And to do that, I want to reference this tweet here from U.S. tech workers, a really great Twitter page that I follow, that follows closely with any and everything concerning the migrant crisis and immigration overall, right? This is a phenomenal Twitter page. And matter of fact, let me blow it up for you guys so you can see it a bit clearer, right? So let me blow this up for you all. And I'm going to read what it says here. And then we're going to dive deeper into this. So this tweet reads as such, because remember what Joe Biden said. Remember, he stated that I would shut the border down if I could, but there's nothing I can do because I need that Senate bill to pass. That Senate bill that normalizes the migrant crisis, but on top of that, adds on the ability for those illegal immigrants who are now crossing to now have a fast track to citizenship. Watch this. All right. And then we're going to dive deeper into this. This tweet reads, this whole Senate border bill is a total farce. Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act already gives the president authority to deny entry of any aliens that he sees fit. He can shut it down right now if he wants, but chooses not to. I repeat, he can shut it down right now if he wants, but chooses not to. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a fact. So I did a quick Google search on Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, right? And this came up, and it comes from CRS reports.congress.gov. I just wanted to establish that. CRS reports.congress.gov. So this is from the United States government. Okay. I just wanted to make sure to establish that so you understand. This isn't from Infowars.com or anything like that. Okay. This is from the United States government. And it reads as such. And let me make sure to zoom in because we all need to be able to see this and read this together. Where is the Zoom on PDF? Here we go. Oops. Okay. So let's start reading right here. For statutory authority, all of these recent proclamations rely principally upon 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, which is the abbreviation. That provision authorizes the president to suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens. I repeat, it authorizes the president to suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens. It doesn't matter if you came illegally or not. That is irrelevant. He could suspend all of that, whose entry he finds would be detrimental to the interests of the United States. Would you all agree that the current migrant crisis, as it stands, is currently detrimental to the interest of the United States? I think we all could agree on that. I think we all can say 10,000 illegal immigrant encounters a day, which is truly a migrant crisis, not a migrant crisis, a migrant disaster, is not in the best interest of the country. Ask Brandon Johnson in Chicago. That brother's kind of stressed right now, okay? Last I checked, last I heard, he was in the hospital for panic attacks. He can't take it. Eric Adams' whole career pretty much just went down the drain because of the migrant crisis. Okay? I would say this is not in our best interest. And with that, Joe Biden could literally shut this whole thing down right now, but he's choosing not to. And here's what's even more crazy. You're going to see how crazy this is, how long this law has been in place, this particular law. Let's see. Let's jump into this, right? Here's how long this has been in place. The provision has been in the INA since the INA's original enactment in 1952. This has been law since 1952. Okay? 1952. This law has been on the books. As we speak, once again, literally, if Biden wanted to, this so-called migrant crisis could come to a complete end with the stroke of a pen. But he's choosing not to do it the same way he chose to create it, as we established earlier. Because what he wants, as we established in the middle of today's stream, is the normalization of the migrant crisis, for the migrant crisis to just be regular. It's just a regular thing. With the max of 5,000 illegal immigrant encounters daily being the threshold. Once we hit 5,000 illegal immigration encounters as a daily average, then it's mandatory that we shut down, the border, until we can get those averages back down. But once again, as I stated also at the beginning of the stream, there was a time when 1,000 encounters was considered way too much. When 1,000 encounters was considered a bad day. It was a horrible day if you are a border agent. Horrible day. Man, today was rough. What happened, TD? Man, today we had 1,000 illegal immigrant encounters at the border today. Oh, man, I hate when that happens. Yeah, it doesn't happen too much, but it definitely happens. And those are rough days. Now we're averaging close to 10,000. And Biden is saying, hey, let's just drop it to an average of 5,000. And once again, we're going to drop it to an average of 5,000 and also put in place a mechanism for once they come in illegally, they get a fast track to citizenship, just like that. So in closing, this is all the doing of Joe Biden, all of the hardship and heartache that the citizens of Chicago, citizens of New York City, citizens of Denver, who I haven't covered anything in Denver, but shout out to Rob from Black Light Revelations too. He's done a great job of covering Denver. And he's given me some information that I just haven't touched on yet. This is Rob right here, in case you all don't know. Denver's healthcare system is completely upside down because of the Biden crisis that was created deliberately. All the headache and heartache that they're dealing with in Washington, D.C., right? And all these other countries, or I should say cities, where these so-called migrants or illegal immigrants are getting bused to. This is all of Biden's doing. He can literally stop it right now if he wants to, but he chooses not to. And those are just the facts. Those are the facts. But, what do I know, right? I'm just a Russian bot powered by artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, who has been created to simply push misinformation on YouTube. What do I know? I don't know anything. So with all that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you all. There are 602 of you all in the live stream right now. If you haven't, please hit the like button. That is extremely important. I'm not saying that just to be saying that. Please hit that like button. It is so important that you do so. And I want to give my thank yous on the way out. So in closing, thank you very much, Betsy Epps. Betsy Epps says, keep up the good work. These Democrats want votes and Republicans want cheap labor. You might have a point there with the Republicans wanting cheap labor, because somebody did point out to me after I talked about all that child labor in those factories that a lot of those states or Republican states, Republicans not off the hook so fast, right? I've been wanting to talk about that a little bit more. I probably will get into that. Shout out to Julian Harvey, who stated Biden and Harris have to go. Thanks for keeping us informed, especially in Chicago. I got you, Julian. No problem at all. I definitely got you. Shout out to See Me. See Me said, it's crazy and frustrating watching this debacle unfold. It's only a matter of time till it hits suburbs. And let's see what their response will be then. Well, it's already hit the Chicago suburbs, and the response is a lot of theft. a lot of retail theft is going on right now in the Chicago suburbs. That's what the response has been over there. L.A. Hopkins, thank you very much. L.A. Hopkins said, appreciate the sacrifice it takes to bring this information to us. I thank you for acknowledging that. Much love to you and your family. I appreciate you, L.A. Hopkins. Thank you. And much love to you and your family as well. Shout out to my man, Black Logic. What's going on, Black Logic? Black Logic said, I'm glad we are covering this very important topic. I just covered this same thing on my broadcast, B1 Brother. Shout out to Black Logic. He said he just covered this on his broadcast. Go hit up his YouTube channel. I forgot the name of your YouTube channel is, brother. I'm sorry. Please put it in the live chat if you're still here. Oh, wow. I don't think your YouTube channel name is just Black Logic. Is it? Is it Black Logic still? Is it Black Logic? I know it used to be Financial Literacy 101. I don't remember if you changed it or not. I apologize. But I think if you type in Financial Literacy 101, you might still find his channel. I'm sorry if that's not the case, though. And thank you very much, V. Hannah, saying blessings, TD Media. I appreciate you, V. Hannah. Thank you very much. So once again, and lastly, in closing, thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on the way out. If you haven't already, that is extremely important. Follow me on Telegram if you have not already. That is at TD Media Group. That is at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram will be pinned in the live chat. It's currently pinned in the live chat. It's in the description box below, and it will be in the comment section once the stream ends. So follow me over there, and also follow me on Rumble as well. I do have a Rumble account. I don't promote it much, but I am also on Rumble at TD Media Group. And shout out to Val Williams with the last minute buzzer beater coming through at the very end with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Val Williams. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow evening. I should see you tomorrow evening. Have a great one and a safe one. Peace.